So what is Amazon FBA? I'm going to break down exactly what it is and make this video as simple as possible for absolutely anyone to understand. So essentially what FBA is a business model that Amazon offers everyday people like you and me to make money on the platform. So I'm going to break it down. What is FBA? Not overcomplicate it, because everyone thinks it's this overcomplicated business model and it's really not. All you're doing is buying and selling. So FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. So essentially, like you were selling on eBay, you list a product. But with FBA, is you don't have to house the product. You're just buying it, sending it into Amazon, and then as soon as you make a sale, Amazon send it to the customer, any customer service, all that good stuff, Amazon deal with it. You don't have to worry about that. All you literally need to do is buy the product and send it into Amazon. So buying a product is the key thing to this business. It's your return on investment, which we call ROI. There's a bunch of different things that go into it, but I'm going to go from buying the product. So let's say we find a good deal on Argos. The product that we're buying is £10. It sells on Amazon at 25. Initially, you'll think, well, buzzing, I'm making £15 profit, but that's not right. So don't always look at the sale price and think it's like the be all and end all. What you're doing is you're working out a percentage of what you're making on your £10. So we roughly work between 20 and 30% return on investment. So to do so, let's work it out now. 20% is £2, 30% is £3. So let's meet in the middle and say 25%. So we'll be earning £2.50 per sale of this item on Amazon. After finding the product and finding it cheap enough to where it sells on Amazon at a profitable price, you're looking at all the different things like how many times it sells per month, SPM sales per month. You're looking at things such as how many other people are on the listing. You're looking at stuff like BSR, and this is everything that we cover within the program. But to break it down and make it super simple, we'll just go off sales per month and how many people are on the listing now. So let's say this product sells 500 times per month and there's 5 people currently on the listing. That means that each person's roughly selling it around 100 times because you're dividing 500 by 5. So let's just say we now jump on this listing. We're making 25% return on investment. Let's do ROI on there. And what you're generally making if you keep your money in a bank account is like 2% a year. And we can literally make 25% every single month. So it's like unbelievable. You work that out month to month. So you do 25% 4 times. That's 100% of your money. So for you to get 100% of your money in a bank, it's going to be in there for fucking 50 years. So back to what I was saying is if we're now jumping on this listing, there's 5 people on selling 100 times a month, we become the 6th person to jump on this listing at 500 times a month. What is 500 divided by 6? 500 divided by 6 is 83, which means if we become the 6th person on this listing, no one else comes on it, we're pretty much going to sell it around 83 times. So let's just call it 80. Right, now what we're doing is we times in 2.5, which would be the profit made by the amount of sales that we're getting. So 2.5 times, let's just call it 80. 816 half 80 is 40, so you're going to be making 200 quid profit off that one listing. Breaking it down super simple, that's all you're really doing. There's a couple of other little factors into it. It's not as if you're putting money into something and then it's going to drop to zero and you're not going to make anything, because you've got to think what you're buying, it's a physical, tangible product. And that product's never going to go to zero. Say this chair, for instance, this would probably sell for 100 quid. If you had like 100 of these chairs, I'd never be worried about me not making anything on it, because that chair is always going to be worth something, which is the key thing to Amazon FBA and why it's so safe, because it's not like you're holding a meme coin, or it's not like trading where you can literally go to zero. You will always have equity in this business, which is the key thing. This is off one product we've found on Argos, and we picked 80 of them up and we've made 200 quid. Now you do this across 5 different products, that's £1,000, and we're doing like between 20 and 30k a month. So we're doing this way more than 5 times. We're doing it on way more than 5 different listings. We're doing it on like 50, 100. Actually, we've got around 200 listings in our inventory, and they're not all selling this amount of times a month. Some are selling 10 times a month, but they're making 30 quid profit. Others are selling, 500 times a month, but they're making 2 quid profit, and we might only sell 100, but that's still 200 quid profit. So it's all rinse and repeat, and it's all about reps and how many times you can actually do this. Like, this is literally as simple as it is. You're finding where to buy it, cross-referencing it to Amazon, you're seeing how many times it sells a month, and then you're putting your cost price into the software that we use, which is SaaS. That works out your profits after Amazon fees, all that good stuff. You're putting it into there, seeing how much profit you make, and then you're analysing how many people are on the listing, how many you can sell if you jump on the listing, and then you're working out, how many to buy, how much profit it's going to generate. After so long, you get into a position where you can quit your job and you can do all these things, and it's a proven system that works. I can't stress that enough. So if you've made it to this point in the video, you've probably got a bunch of questions, rightly so. I mean, me getting into a business, I had a bunch of questions, and I don't want to leave any of them unanswered. So if you've got any questions, you can either leave them in the comments below or add us on Instagram. That'll be in the description somewhere. Message us FBA and we'll get back to you.